gentlemen, and let me take this opportunity to once again welcome you to another edition of Talk in Parish League. Let me first of all apologize for our late start, and to our Facebook users. We're having some technical challenges, but hopefully we should be up on the Facebook page shortly. We are now functioning on our YouTube page, and we should be simultaneously being broadcast on Channel 8, CTV Channel 8. So we want to welcome all our viewers there, and again we do apologize, had some technical difficulties and thus our little late start. Last week, 2 weeks ago, for the last 2 weeks I should say, we were in the most southerly village. We're out in Old Road, and we really got some historical purview of what really transpired out there. We saw the passion coming out of our guests during that week of what it was like to really play in the country, and today we're going to come into the city surroundings. So we're going to hear from another legend, another stalwart, and so he will be definitely sharing his experience with us growing up in the city area. But just before we get into that, we want to do our little housekeeping matters, and first of all we want to recognize our platinum sponsor, ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking. For 43 years they've been with the Parish League circuit, supporting Parish League, and for that we're eternally grateful. And so we recommend for all of your banking and financial needs, be sure to check them out there at ACB Caribbean. Digicel, the bigger, better network. For all of your connectivity needs, be sure to check them out there at Digicel, and they will take care of all of your internet and connectivity needs. Cool and Smooth, for all of your, whether it be appliances, clothing, sporting, electronics, household, whatever it is that you need, be sure to check them out there at Cool and Smooth. Amir and his team, they will take very good care of you there. All right, and also we want to remember our good friends, Crazy Rose, Charles Goodwin. We want to remember them in our prayers, and anyone who may be, feeling just a little tad bit under the weather. We know these are very trying times. Just heard a slew of protocols coming out of the cabinet in the last 24 hours, and I'm sure that will really make for quite a bit of discussion around. But again, we just have to try and follow most of our protocols and just try and be safe, and hope we can override this this beast called COVID-19. Well, without further ado, Taddy, again, as I said, another long week, more protocols coming in us, more restrictions. The beach, Taddy, I know your man like to go to your beach. You got to get in and get out by 12 o'clock. How was the week, But that's what it is, and welcome again back, Taddy, to another edition of Talk in Parish League.
Yeah, welcome again to the audience. Our supporters, John, by the time with the beach, I was at the beach this morning, John. So I get over before 12, like just our practice get over before 12. Then I spoke of COVID-19, but John, 21 now, then no. Past COVID-19, I went 21 now, John. So next thing now, the COVID-22.
We'll tell you.
But the week was good, John, So I had some friends here from New York. I had a great time, get together with old Groundswell guys. I didn't see one for nearly 50 years, John. And that was good, So I left Sunday, and hey, you have to push on still, John, get the work done, get things in place, get the show rolling. Like I said, Sal show money and wherever Carl James. That was pretty enlightening to me, John. Because he started his sailing business. He's 12 years old.
Yes.
I still into it 40 years later, John? So that was good. But I heard you mention the passion of the country people over the last 2 weeks. But our tongue was out, John. The tongue money want to get country man to play, John. Why I tell you what, John, me and country me between John. But a lot of people know that, John. You know what I mean? But the country people don't want to get tongue people to play in days, John. But what country guys have to do? They come play for Empire, Rising Sun, maybe some of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have a chance in the team named Maple and Sir John. Maybe same chance to give it, but Maple like a white man team now. So you have much chance in the Maple and Sir John. You'll be a special kind of guy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I remember, Maple Club was John. Maple Club was right there by where Davis School is now, with Johnson Construction. You know, so I remember that pretty well. And Maple was a real club.
We're not on.
With everything going, you know what I mean? So I can call it John. I can call it Maple very well. Had good tennis players, good cricket, football team, everything. Our guest will tell you about that. He grew up around them stuff, you know what I mean? I remember that pretty well, man. Maple was a real big time club. and we can get you in soon. But so what happens now, John? Yeah, what happens, John? It was great in those days because what happens, the guys on the countryside come play for Empire Rising Sun, want to perform very well, play against them, tongue man, try to shut them up. Yeah, but maybe I partner with a guy named Dick Clark and so fast, but the guy, everybody says shy and so. Yeah. But again, call him, you know what I mean? He can make a fearsome fella, you know what I mean? But hey, John, those are the good old days. But I can recall, John, guess Pat Martin was the Vivitors of those days. I remember that, John. Me go back here, back here, good. Yeah, man, John, me not back, man. John, you give me back people. Back people, John. Yeah, man, the man, I want like about it, John, you know what I mean? He boasted him, you know. Yes, John.
What is it? He had a swag like a bit.
Yes, John, he had something to John.
Oh, so at a trailblazer.
Well, what happened then? They started with me, this she's in the Overs connection. See, maybe over something that being a bossness. All right. So, John, before we get to the say Pat Martin guy, you know, so Pat made his debut for Auntie. Yeah, I didn't make debut. It was called in 1962. Those are the glory days, you know, when you're trying to find somebody to play West Indies. So there were hopes with this guy, and so, you know what I mean?
Right.
But those days were like my time. Why? It kind of get better now, but not so good still. When they played, if you're not selected in the first match, and the team loses, that's it for you. You come back home. So you have a chance to play again, John. So in my time, you have option to play 4 matches or 3 matches. You know, pick this match. You know what I mean, John? But those days, John, I can tell you, John, he can confirm, you know. I remember people get people and take a team. I remember buying my time, my Hilson, so it must say 18 and 20, so many people here and see him. I said, okay, the best one they make 18 and 20, so I get picking team. But that was anti high school and then they say make like the ones. But there was no I know ones, John. Like man, make centuries though, John, to prove yourself.
Right.
But those days were still real good, no, John. Like I was by the time the parties, I didn't realize that he covered cricket in family to the John. I know your uncle played against MCC at England and so. MCC England and John. England and Australia.
So he's in the blood.
Yeah, the man played. I guess who the man guess we getting picked in front of the John. You ever hear about the great Antanism? You ever hear about the great Antanism?
Yes.
He was before so and he get picked in front. So he asked Pat, how he get picked in front of Antanism? He was that good, but we never know he's so good in the John. Young could be a good first in the John. I used to ask him about cricket, but I never knew the man was that good. And he shocked me again, John, to tell me the other one named Boys Roberts, that Elvis Roberts' son, Robert Construction and father. I never did play for Antigua too. I put about it, but I never did play for Antigua. So there's some of the man blood. In the blood, John. You know what I mean? The man can play cricket. But like I said, those days, John, he can take about some real historical things. Where in those days, you have to be a certain kind of class to get picked on ticket, you know. Anybody, you know. John, like he get love with Kaiko Grammar School, maybe with John.
Oh, so you only get to the Kaiko Grammar School?
No, he be good too.
Okay.
He was good too.
Make sure.
But like you said that, John. I said that. I don't want to give the credit. But he deserves the credit, you know what I mean? So, John, just like last week, those old road folks who told about historical side of the road, he can tell about historical side of Antigua cricket. As he can get John, he played the Dolphins field until factory and so on.
Was that how he said go again?
He played the Dolphins field.
Okay.
He played it, he tickled the fire and so on. Yeah, factory is a big team, you know. And the same John Mirage and so on.
Okay.
Factory was on their team, John. Factory was like the elite team, you know. Where Moody with big boys and come down, you know. Yes, John. So it's my place over here, star one. So John, I know John, you dad me for about 6 months now, John.
You dad you?
Yes.
Well, I'll catch you now then. You can't get to it.
Hey, but Cardi wife will take my warranty. And he said, well, you carry the wife out with the place and this. Yeah. But no, finally, Cardi said, oh, the wife got out, I can get me now. So John, have to catch you before the wife come back. Because the wife was sparring, you know. The wife was sparring, you know, right ideas, but we're a good friend then. So now we have him, John. We will pose some questions, and I can do the follow-up.
No problem, Taddy. And
our guest is Pat Martin, the great
Yeah. Well, Pat, let me introduce you quickly. Good afternoon again, and let me welcome our Facebook listeners and viewers. We are on now, so again, we want to apologize for the late start. We had just some technical challenges, and so we're on now. So we're on our 3 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and Channel 8. And so we want to welcome everyone. And we're going to today we have good afternoon, Pat. Welcome to Talking Parish League.
Good afternoon. Thanks a lot, John, and thanks, Daddy, for all the praise you showered at me.
Look, but you never shower back the praise, but no. Maybe you try to butt you up so you can't get too hard, all right?
Maybe you go back too far.
Well, Pat, we normally do a little current affairs for about 10-15 minutes where we look at the present day structure of cricket. We were talking before we came on the air about, the whole CPL, the test series between India and England, but something just kind of struck me tidy over the week there. We had not getting away from sports, but we had about 3 or 4 suicides in the last couple of weeks, and it just kind of touched me a bit, and I just felt, I said, boy, we as a people, we have to find some common ground and really start to show more appreciation for each other, show appreciation for life. Sometimes we make fun of people, sometimes we're overly critical of people, judgmental, and we might not be aware of how significant that might play on them, and so I just wanted to use this medium to just try and encourage all of us to show a little bit of love, a little bit of a care, in whatever way to our fellow citizen, our fellow villager, family, whoever it is. We don't have to be bosom buddies, but we're going to have to find some way where we extend more courtesy, we extend more love, and I don't know, it just kind of just touched me this week when I really, just listening to a lot of the posts on Facebook and concern. I know the discussion now has changed with all the different protocols, but I just felt I wanted to just say something on that where, as humans, we just have to find a way to get along a little better.
Yeah, John, I agree with that, John. Like everybody had their own challenges. But like I said, John, I agree, I concur. Okay, so see somebody, you don't know what they're going through. But like I said, John, my perspective on things. See, I'm a very jovial guy. I don't hit people too. If I come and tease you, it's all fun for me. It's not to get you riled up and get vexed, and you know what I mean. But like I said, John, that is real spate of incidents. I call incidents, and then this murder down that point. Wow, then it's sad kind of say that's so nonsensical to me. But I don't know what it is, John. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to go there too much. Pat, what do you think about that?
About what? Listen, I must say to you, like, I tell the Jamaicans and the Guyanese and the people who are not Antiguans that when I grew up here, when you had one murder per year, that was alarming in this country here. People in Antigua never hear about more than one murder a year, and it usually turned out from people who were shooting dice and stuff like that, right? It was usually on the wharf. It's like, I really don't understand it. I don't understand it, and we need to address it seriously. I have my own opinions about it, but it will be somewhat political, not AALP and UPP, but I leave that alone because I don't think that's what I'm here about.
All right, John, I'm going to say one thing, Jack. Pat said something about that. Brought some memories to me. I remember I had some friends coming from Trinidad some years ago, and then a late flight, and some murder took place in Antigua on the weekend, and the people hear about it, they're talking about it on the flight, they be or something, and so the 2 Trinidad people say, what happened? So we have a murder in Antigua. So I say, yeah, one here. Well, we had about 20-something last weekend. so like Pat said, one for is plenty.
Yeah.
But for them, it's like nothing. You know what I mean, John? So I just wanted to mention it. Like Pat, one murder, plenty more than this, John.
I'm telling you. And everybody was talking about it. We'd be talking about it. Somebody killed somebody and so on. So I say, yeah. Because we didn't do that. He didn't do that. But now,
Yeah, well, as I said, just felt wanted to just touch a bit. Good afternoon, William Messiah Jr. What's up, Taddy? I'm watching from St. Croix. Good to have you, Mr. Messiah, on board. Quickly, just about 10 minutes, because time is against us again. CPL, I think that's the most recent one. St. Kitts and Nevis Patriot, Taddy, my team. They came victorious over the St. Lucia Kings. I think it was a pretty decent final, winning off the last ball, and I think it augurs well for the small island. I like to see the two small island team. Although the teams are not comprised of, most of St. Kitts.
Exactly, John.
Not comprised of much small island. Because when I look at the St. Kitts team, I was trying to go to the lineup, and I don't think there's one person in that lineup from the
Leewards.
If I'm not mistaken. And I said, wow.
John, the CPL is not about small and the big island.
I know it's.
John, so get about the Nancy story, right? They pick everybody all over the world. So it's St. Kitts and Nancy and that's not the team name. So
That's just a home base.
there's a home base. So we're about the Nancy story, right? Leave it alone. Okay? So, see all the guys from Jamaica who play for the Islands. How many guys from the Islands play in the team? Who play the match?
No, he didn't play in the last two matches.
So, who else will leave and play?
I'm not aware. Well, they had the guy Burridge who was in the side, but he
Who
got
played the match in the finals yesterday from Leave Islands?
no. But you had Azari and Jimbo.
No. I tell you
From St. Kitts
from
Patriots?
St. Kitts Patriots.
No, my memory don't tell me there was absolutely
Never
nobody.
asked for Leave Islands. That's why I asked that from Leave Islands.
Yeah, no, Leave
I know
Islands.
Jimbo as a from St. Lucia. I know that.
Right.
But we're talking about Leave Islands. Who play for St. Kitts?
No, we don't have nobody. I don't think we would have any
So
representation.
I'm saying that
beside-
whether with a smile and a story. I just wanted to
Representation. It was still good on represent. Daddy, 20 years from now, it's going to be two small island team were in the finals.
I hope you're right.
We all know better, but that's what it was.
Let me ask you a question. Bar was a big island.
Well, Barbados is outside of the little island. They're not considered little island.
John.
In cricket.
John.
Yes.
That was a subject, John. This big island, a big island story. I tell you something before now. When I was in St. Thomas, a Parish League team. I remember 1980, somebody was in St. Thomas in the team. I was watching Wimbledon, 4th of July weekend stuff, you know what I mean? And I never get it, John. He suckled me up to down. He can't come out of my mind. Because they're playing tennis, women tennis. And two of the commentators saying, well, I don't understand. Why England can't find any good talent? England won the championship this weekend. But it was somebody that feels they come from England now. But the point is, England still.
Right.
But the thing is, the person said, well, England is such a tiny country. Here the commentator said, England is such a tiny country. You know, Texas is bigger than England, you know? So now it's our big island guy around here. There's not really nonsense, right?
No, but Taddy, Pat, if you want to weigh in, you can weigh in too.
I will.
Now you said that, I had an experience maybe about a month, 2 months ago. I was driving a gentleman from Portugal, and we were talking. He was telling me Portugal has about 10 million people living there, and he said Portugal is such a small island, and I'm like, small? You have 10?
That's what he said.
Yeah. But then after you explained to me, when you measure up against the other European countries, it was, minute in size. So again, I guess it depends on the context of the discussion there. Pat, I don't know if you follow the CPL. What was your?
No, listen, I follow cricket. You know what I'm saying? I have a serious problem. I have a good friend every day, cuss me. Every day. And like Tally had as we were talking before, I don't know where we're going with people like Chris Gale and so on and so on. No.
That's the universe. That's the universe boss.
I really don't know where we're going with Chris Gale.
John, know this nonsense at all. Pat like me, you know, nonsense.
Look, there are a few players that I rooted for, and I'll tell you they did not perform like I expected them to, and I see them as talented people. But I mean, yes, Chris Gale, three triple centuries in test matches or whatever. But when I look back on Carl Hooper, Mal and Samuel, there's a boy in Antigua who upset me as now. I don't even know if I should call his name, from Bowlands. He's playing football now somewhere on the place name, Ronaldo or something. Those are people who I look at.
And Peters.
Right. And think that they were going to go far. And it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. And I see test cricket as a science now. Taddy is the same way. You see this man, you figure him out. This is how we're going to bowl him. We're going to bowl him off stump, set him up, boom, boom. I see, man, listen, if I was to play CPL or this T20 something, everybody for me would go long on or mid wicket or extra cover deep, and I done with that. Because what are you going to do? Cow corner. Everything is going to go to cow corner. Everything is going to go to cow corner. Or is he going to back way and hit you through extra cover over the top? And that's it. I don't see any much skill in that. Sorry. Don't see much skill.
You're telling you bring reinforcement today, John.
You know.
You're Robin John Duran, John T20 10 over specialist though.
Yeah.
Bad news, good afternoon. Good to have you aboard Bad News, and George Ferris as usual. Good to have you on board, George. He's saying good afternoon to Taddy, John, Mark, and Mr. Martin. Good to have you, George.
George Ferris.
Yeah. Hey, George, what's up? How you doing?
And also, well, as I said, I think it was a good game. There was a big discussion coming out of the CPL, though, was again the West Indies selection in that
Laughing matter.
what the chairman of the selector said Rutherford was not fit, so he wasn't considered for selection, and the other fast bowler,
Ravi?
no, not Ravi.
In the Shepherd.
Is either Shepherd or Smith. Another one was not fit, also was not considered fit. And two of the better performers in the CPL, and so that's a very big discussion at the moment. Taddy, I don't know if you know anything about the fitness program for West Indies at this moment.
I haven't a clue. The program can't be good.
Yeah.
Taddy, how are you going to make a statement like that?
John, it can't be good. If Gary get past the fitness test and the young boys pass and the guys fail, it can't be good. That's why somebody pay somebody to pass them. Yeah, how Gary pass the test, John? They can't walk when they feel good.
Exactly.
That makes no sense.
Exactly.
You just say something else, we understand them, but that fitness test, the fail, and Gale pass, somebody have been joking. You get me going from, John?
Thank you.
How would Gale get past fitness test, John? No one other person can compete with fitness is Jimbo. Only two people that can compete with fitness argument, and Jimbo not in the team.
Right.
So Gale can't pass. Impossible to get past the test.
Well, the chairman of selectors, he he let you know.
It is, for real.
Don't have real life, John.
So you concur with that viewpoint?
Yes, yeah. Listen, even when they call him back to play the one-day games, was it last year?
Yeah.
Up in Antigua. I don't do me nothing. I think he's a good entertainer, yes, and after that, nothing else. Because if he don't make no runs, he's a waste of time now. He can't chase no ball, no place. Can't chase no ball, So if he has to
run two.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Bad.
And it's not now he can't run two now.
Long time.
Long time. It's a waste of time.
But John, I didn't bring no reinforcement.
Okay. I never discussed.
Our female team seem to be coming out at the wrong end of the stick against South Africa. I think they're down 3-1. I think the last one day is being played right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't really followed it much, but they were successful earlier on, but they seem to have hit another patch.
I want to say something about that. I didn't see them. I don't see them. But we were watching the semi-finals with St. Lucia. I think it was on CPL. And I saw the team wanted 6 runs and 13 bars, and man to the flies, I knocked 6. But I don't say man, they play rowdy. You two are knocks again, like 6 singles and win the game, and they don't know the way.
Do you say
and that's a mentality of the same women cricket.
Yeah.
They're not well coached. They have a mental problem, John.
Yeah.
And they want to finish with the 6 like a glory.
It's the razzmatazz. It's the frozen spills tally.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, John, but that is nonsense.
I watched Bangladesh and who? It's not Australia. Is Australia? Who playing?
No, I think Bangladesh is playing
somebody.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
And the way they set about it. Okay, I'm going to pick up 4 runs this over. Because I want to see what the guy doing, what the bowler doing. I'm going to pick up 4. I pick up 4 the next over. But after that, I know what he's doing, so I know what I can do. But I see West Indian batsmen come to crease, don't even know how the wicket play, don't know if the guy bowling in swingers or waist swingers off break or whatever, and they start to swipe. And you tell me that is cricket? No.
That's 10 overs, John.
And finally, as we wrap up this quickly, 1 minute, guys, because we got to get into Pat. The Test series with England and India ended quite abruptly, if you want to say. There was some concern about, again, COVID again, seems to be the major...
dictates our lives.
Dictate our life, but there were some discussions, or some talking points. Some persons were saying that, they wanted to go and play... They want to go and play IPL, so they would have boycotted not boycotted, but made their exit quite easily. And I remember one of the commentators saying it's quite strange that the test match was called off. If it was called off today, by the next day, some of them were already in the UAE getting climatized and getting themselves prepared for the IPL. So it seemed like if it was, but I don't know. From Tally, miles apart, you have any viewpoint on what transpired?
My view on that, John, you know what I mean? ICC get caught with this nonsense. ICC is the big people with cricket. How are you going to stop and test series for IPL? I don't understand it, John. But I think IPL with ICC waste of time now. ICC right now, I said on the show before, John. Then the cricket come to nothing now. Before the test series is a big thing, John, IPL 20 has this place. I would not say no. When they're going to series, a test series, they're not going to play a couple one-day games and the 2020 games in between. Maybe they should be before it starts the series, but I prefer them at the end of the series. You know why? I don't want to get the habit of flying. Bat well first and at the end of the series. You understand what I'm saying, John?
Right.
So, that the players got, those are the matches that bring the revenue now, John. What's the revenue from spectators? Okay, what they learn long time ago, John? ICC, that's so much sponsorship with big money. If me and the going to go, nobody get up.
No.
Got the money to make for sponsorship.
That's right.
But you don't want to play sports with those spectators. You understand, John?
Right.
But ICC shouldn't have BCCI bullywag them. Man, test will get the big thing. And ICC the boss.
All right.
If you're the boss, you can't let them work for you, dominate you. No.
Pat, what anything in view on that?
No, I don't want to talk about IPL and say, it's unfortunate what happened. Because I was looking forward to that test match, after what happened in the fourth test match.
Yes, man.
I thought it was going to be an exciting test match. There are two very good players there, and batsmen, or batters, whatever you call them. Kohli, he hasn't performed to the best of his ability yet. Joe Root for England, excellent batsman, seems to do most things right. And India has a bowler, what is it, Jasprit
Bumba.
Yeah, I wouldn't send my son to say look at how he bowls, or look at his action and so, but the man is always enthusiastic and competitive, not giving you no chance.
You're getting the loose ball.
No.
Loose ball period.
You got a bouncer and a Yorker and whatever else.
Always coming at you.
Always. And I saw some people in Antigua like that a few years ago now. I saw Winston Stones being like that. I mean,
that's not a few years ago, John.
100 years ago. 50 years ago. Right? But let me tell you, I saw Winston Stones bowl to his brother, live in the same house and so on. The brother after him. And if you didn't know, you would know they were brothers.
Well, Pat, I saw that which Vivi like that too.
Yeah, okay. So
that's before Vivi.
Yeah. And his father.
I started being so.
Yeah.
So in the house mean nothing.
Yeah.
Competition.
Yeah.
You go to the field, John.
Yeah.
It's got a competition.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna close off this section. Good afternoon, Ed. Good to have you. Ed is bigging you up there, Pat. He's saying good afternoon,
Lewis.
Pat.
Yeah.
Ed Lewis.
Hey, what's happening, Ed? What's up?
And who else we have here? Lydia Mulcair Harris. Good afternoon. Good to have you, Lydia. I think it's the first time I'm seeing you on board, so really good to have you. Bad News is asking, who's the gentleman on the panel with Taddy? Oh, that's Pat Martin. He's gonna give you some information now. So hold on, News. We're going way back. Paddy, tell me we're going back to the 60s. So we're gonna get that. All right. So let's just take our first break, and when we get back, we'll get straight into Pat's what we call it. Background check. ACB Caribbean, simple, smarter banking. They've been around for well over 63 years, I think, providing financial service in Antigua and Barbuda, spreading their wings into other Caribbean islands. And so it's one of our premier if not our premier banking institution, financial institution on the island, and probably in the Eastern Caribbean. And so we at the Parish League Circuit want to really lend our accommodation and greetings to them there at ACB Caribbean, and to always recommend them to you for all of your banking and financial needs. Brands for Less. Carol and her team right there on High Street, just opposite the old Deluxe Cinema. You can get all of your clothing apparel. They have some lovely dresses for ladies, sandals, shoes, electronics, you name it. Your one-stop. I'm sure you could walk in there and anything you want, you just tell Carol, and I'm sure she and her team will find a way to get it for you. Your back-to-school items, be sure to check them out there at Brands for Less. Seco Pharmacy, for all of your pharmaceutical needs, be sure to check them out there at Seco Pharmacy. There you can get all of your medicine, your vitamins, whatever it is you need. Seco Pharmacy, right there on High Street, just on the corner of High and Temple Street. All right, Pat?
John, wait. I want to give one correction quickly. There's no doubt which bank is the premier bank. And I want to think nothing about ACB. ACB not their bank anymore. It's the World Bank. So they would think and this and that. I don't want to make the mistake of the big bank.
It's a fact.
Okay, great.
All right.
We'll move on, John.
And Lydia Harris is saying, I'm the president of the St. Thomas Masters team, and Neil Lewis Play For Us was introduced to the show by him. All right, well, good to have you, Lydia, and do hope that you'll enjoy our presentation. We have a historian, as Taddy kind of told me, so we're going way back. Pat, our program really is, we like to, take you back. We want to reminisce on those days, those childhood days. We had a little talk off here, and you were speaking about Tennis Pasture. I never hear about that place, Tennis Pasture. Okay, I heard of Drake Street before it was named Seviv, But that's what we do. We want to go back and really bring out some of those things that in the closet, things that you might take for granted that might be really beneficial to some of us who who are not really exposed to that sort of effects. And so Pat, where we normally start, we're taking you way back. I understand you spent quite a bit of time in Nevis Street, but I understand you probably would have started in Bishopgate Street. So we want you to take us back. Tell us what it was like growing up as a young boy. What was life like? Today everybody have a Nintendo phone in their hand and stuff like that. Tell us what it was like for you growing up as a young boy in those days.
I was born in Bishopgate Street. Started playing my cricket in that area in the deanery. And we used to play with, we don't see those things around here now, a barrel, stave. They used to store rum in those things. This is a curved thing.
Barrel.
Yeah, a barrel, and you cut your rubber ball bat out of that. And I used to play Pushan with golf.
Pushan.
Right? Pushan. I don't know. When I say Pushan around here, a lot of people look around and like, what is Pushan? I said, we kneel down and play cricket, man. And then when you hit the ball, you will get up and run, and so on. So I started my cricket over in the Bishopgate Street Deanery area, moved towards Navy Street, played a lot of cricket in the Tennis Pasture, where Vivian Richards also played. And when I knew Vivian Richards, he was playing Pushan. When I saw Vivian Richards first, he was playing Pushan in Tennis Pasture. So he played there, and if he figured he wanted to make a big score, he would move over to Nelson Street, over by Keith Edwards' place there.
Over's Pasture.
Get his runs, and he comes back over later with the big balls in them. So he gets his 20 over by the big boy. That's the way we get his 20. He got his 100 over by Keith Edwards, Over's Pasture. And I played a lot of cricket at East Street.
Before you move, Pat, Tennis Pasture, tell our viewers and listeners where exactly that is.
Well,
I don't know where that is.
There's no pasture there now.
I'm lost.
It's filled with housing. When you come across Temple Street, it is Temple Street.
Temple Street,
yeah.
Temple Street and Vivian Richards Street. When you cross the street, there's a wide open pasture there with 2 posts. Because I think they must have used to play lawn tennis there years ago.
Okay.
And on the west side of the road, on the west side of the pasture, were lined with willow trees.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the pavilion was.
And dam gutter.
Right, by the dam gutter.
Dam gutter right there.
You'd be across the road, sitting by a man named Cooper.
Hey, John.
A barber.
We're going to get about the Cooper. They tell you, you have the right, John?
Yeah. Cooper was Vivi's biggest fan. But we all learned to play real cricket there. And cricket there was competitive, eh? People with their brothers and their best friends playing on opposite sides. And you wouldn't even know that they were brothers and or best friends. When the game is over, it's a different story. But while the game is going, it was very competitive in tennis pasture. From tennis pasture, I would do the same thing like Viv, but I would go as older. So I'd go up to St. John's pasture, right here on East Street, and play my rubber ball cricket too. Right? So that's where I played most of my cricket. In overs, tennis pasture, and on East Street, the right east of the government treasury now. Government treasury is there. I think the government treasury is there. There, I mean, you could tell when it was
St. John's
season.
Ground.
St. John's Ground. You could tell when it was cricket season. All you had to do is drive on East Street, and you see rubber ball being played there, and then you'll see St. John's cricket team practicing, and as you go further up, you'll see Trojans cricket team, and as you go further up, you'll see rivals with Tuss Matthew. Earl Michael played with Trojans, and as you go further up to Rising Sun Ground, you'll see Clem Francis. But a lot of people miss that. You see just where the Parliament businesses or building is, east of Rising Sun Cricket Ground. Police had a pitch there. Police used to practice their cricket there.
Yeah?
Yes, police used to play cricket there. It is not first class game, it's where they practice. It's where they practice. So that whole past, you could tell when it was cricket season in Antigua. All they do is drive across the street, and you know it's cricket season.
But John, I want to point out something so to remind the people. The pass he's referring to is where Harp is at the radiator, and Shannon is upholstering there after a while.
Yeah, okay.
That's the pass right there,
Right.
And the Cooper was a famous overs barber, where nobody wanted to go.
Outside on the ground.
Right with the pipe, nobody wanted to go Cooper.
Let me nobody want to go by Cooper. Famous barber, everybody want to go by famous people.
No, the kind of shares people had to
Because Cooper pass here. So the parents said Cooper cut him, school called him like, no, boy, cry, I can't cry. And hold it till carry in. So, Patton went over, man. You know what you're talking about. You know stuff.
Pat, before I bring you to overs, I want to come to Bishop Gaethje, because I remember when we were talking off here, you were speaking about some persons, you're in point, but they don't say point. They say Bishop Gate Street, or you call some names.
We still do it now. A lot of people don't like to. If it point was supposed to be a ghetto, and it maybe is a ghetto, but people don't want to tell they come from Point, so they come from North Street, and they come from Bishop Gate Street, and they come from St. John Street, and they're only in Point when you're gone west, down by Wilkerson Cross.
Okay.
By Destin.
By Destin, right? I mean, I grew up knowing those things. You'll be glad when you cut off a Wapping Lane. When you cut off a Wapping Lane, you're in St. John's.
Right,
you go on west of Wapping Lane, you're going into Point.
Bishop Gate Street, what was the community like,
Poor people. St. John's was poor people now. St. John's was poor people. A lot of poor people were in St. John's. Housing was substandard, and I think we've done well. We've come out of that quite nicely, right? But and there were many recreational areas. You made the recreational area by, if you saw a piece of open land, you and your friend would go there and play. And this did happen in the deanery. And deanery was an old burial ground. Old burial ground, right? You go to deanery and you play. The big boys play further up, the little boys play further down. They play some cricket down at Point School too. But the railway line, local line ran across the ground, right by Point School.
Local line run across the ground.
Yeah. Because that's where they used to take the sugar from the Antigua Sugar Factory. Come back there through Casada Garden, down through Gambles, cut back across through Point, back into Point. Through Villa, I should have said,
I remember those days because I was down there. Local top of game was on.
Yeah. So you get good notice, You hear the horn for the local boy, and and they were quite careful, I thought.
You said something there a while ago. You said, there wasn't much recreational facility, but you guys would find an open area and you would entertain yourself there. One of the discussion we normally have with sports in general now, people talk a lot about facilities and the lack of facilities.
Right.
But you're saying here, we didn't have any facilities, but we utilized what we had.
Yeah, but people claiming their lands now, no. You can't go put up stump on the body land and so on. When I came back here in the 70s, I was surprised to see the number of houses in Deanery. A lot of sports was played in the Deanery. West Deanery, East Deanery, football and cricket. Football was played at Top Deanery. Cricket was played in West Deanery, the west part. And occasionally one into
Wait, Top Deanery or West Deanery?
Okay. Top Deanery, you see when you come across Church Lane?
Yeah.
Okay, so Church
Come
Lane
by
will
Public Works.
Right.
Church Lane will take you, let's say, basically into Deanery.
Right.
On your left-hand side of that was West Deanery,
Okay.
and on the eastern side was East Deanery, and on your right-hand side.
Right.
Now, quite a lot of football was played in East Deanery, and cricket was played in West Deanery. And a few Antigua and outstanding players played cricket in West Deanery.
That area.
Turner, Oscar Williams, a guy named Jules, what's his name? Something Peters. Sylvester
yeah.
Peters. You know, even John Gonzalez, and so now you find guys straddling the whole area. You have people like Gonzalez and Tuss. They would play up at East Street, but they would come over to Deanery. They'd come over to Deanery sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? But that is how it was. But now you can't go on a body land now.
But John, it's strange, you know. Imagine the name just known named Jules. Turner, Oscar Williams. Oscar is one of the outstanding batsmen. But the Jules guy, when you mention that, the Jules, my friend who's asked on the show, Calvin White, he was married to his sister.
Okay.
I remember that. Serious thing. But those guys are outstanding Antigua players, but poor people.
Jules was an excellent all-rounder. But you have to understand, those guys had to run out of here, having played for Antigua and perform, but they couldn't get off from their place of work. The people who they work for saying, well, I mean, you can get 10 days, 2 weeks off, because you're entitled to a vacation too, right?
Right.
You're going to get your 10 days to go play cricket or whatever. And the same breath think that you're going to come back here to work. I don't have time for that. So these guys were forced to migrate at the height of their career. Scotland, went to Bermuda, Rupert, Scotland, right? I mean, I saw when I was a young boy, Wes Hall, he went to England, he toured England in 1957. So in 58 they were here. So he hadn't played a test match even though he went to England in the West Indies side in 1957. And he's come back here and everybody went up to see this Wes Hall, and he bowled him fast, you know. And Scotland cutting him up by jail all afternoon. And he decided, no, I'm not going for no lunch. I'm not going for no. Small of them boy, you're not supposed to be putting a stick on me like this. Came back and out Scotland later in the day and so on. But Scotland started to cut him, you know. And you didn't see those things around, even though we had a good fast bowler around here named Antonison.
Okay.
You know? But the reason why we're so enthusiastic and high on that is that Wes Hall had just come back, was just coming back from England with the West Indies side in 1957.
So he was a big pin,
Right.
kingpin.
Yeah.
And any performance against him would make you feel.
And Antigua was like that, Antigua was like that. Antigua would come to see if you have a good player, is how the Antiguan would perform against this good player.
Okay, that was a measuring stick for us.
Yeah. That was a measuring stick for sure.
No, Pat, your school days, because I remember Taddy saying something about it seemed like Taddy bring all Gromanian here. Yeah, but no problem, man. We PMites, we'll get it there.
Okay.
Did you play school cricket, any cricket during school time?
That's all I did. That's all I did. Grammar school, if you weren't an intellectual, very bright, you played sports.
Okay.
So me and some friends, we doubled. We could read and write, but we played cricket and football and track and field. And the same people you saw playing cricket for grammar school played football for grammar school. And we're the only school in Antigua at that time was playing in the first divisions, cricket and football.
Wow.
I mean, we coming down from grammar school at 15, 16, and we up against the big boys. National, Wesley Challenger, Barry Challenger. These people came into Antigua football side, as an aside, when they're 16, when we're 16, representing Antigua in St. Kitts. But prior to that, which is, nobody hears anything about, and I know about it vaguely, there used to be inter-school sports here at one time now, where Antigua, St. Kitts and Montserrat would meet in one island, and they have a competition there.
Okay.
Cricket, football and such like. And St. Joseph Academy imitated it for a while, and they would go down to Dominique.
Yeah.
And do that. You remember that, Harry? Yeah.
Wow. Now, let's get back to the field, you know. What you said, you just go on any pasture or any open land, and you know, you would play there. No, that's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to talk about the big field, little field. Cause Taddy, not driving from here. I notice everybody that come here, they always speak about these two field setting. The little boys play here, the big boy. So like you have the high school, and you have the college, or the college and the university. That seemed to be a system that was very prevalent in most communities. Do you think that systems help in the total development of a player? Like now we just see everybody play at one level.
Yeah. Daddy, you're asking?
Anyone can.
No joke here, Daddy, but I can mention that to you so many months ago now. When I was playing overs, I couldn't get any ones because I played 5B. 5B minus half, get 5 farms again. Yeah. Back with overs. Yeah. So that's what you do now. When you pick on the weaklings, 5 farms, get every farm come to the big boys. So that's what it is. Yeah. Hang with the guys till the thing you're ready again. That's what Pat mentioned earlier.
Yeah, but the levels also helped your cricket, or your game, whatever it was, like the Pushan, and then you graduate to rubber ball cricket, and then you graduate to hardball cricket. When you get to hardball cricket, if you're not performing, you got to go back to your rubber ball cricket, But that is where our cricket came from.
Now, Pat Taddy always hitting me, oh, you're a softball man, you're a softball man. But I was happy to hear you say that quite a lot of our players had to play or played that softball.
Yes.
In your view, how important was playing softball to the development of our cricketers in those times?
I am of the opinion that it helped quite a bit. When I look at what we're seeing today, the West Indian batsmen backing away from short pitch bowling and can't cut and they can't hook. When we played rubber ball, we learned to hook, cut and pull. You understand what I'm saying? And I stopped by a pasture some months ago and see them rolling a rubber ball pitch. And I'm laughing. And I said, well, what's this? I mean, when I was growing up, you just look, like I said, for the open space, you put down your stumps and you play there. The ball hits in a rough spot and the ball zigzag. You have to look hard and sharp and keen to see which direction the ball was going in. Then you learn to cut and pull. You understand? Hook. Yeah. I mean, I see West Indian batsmen running and so on and backing away from fast bowling. They can't hook and cut and pull. I want to know what's going on.
What, Pat? Huh? Okay, see what John feels I understand. Okay, you said something John didn't understand. This rolling sound, ball pitch nonsense. See, when the pitch is not prepared, exactly. Ball jump up here suddenly. Exactly. You have to react and focus on cut.
Yeah, you have to make the adjustment.
Yes, John, that's why reaction time, John. You adjust it that quickly. That's what the pitch that they prepared does to you.
Yeah. Even when I came into cricket, Leo Islands tournament, the pitches were not covered now. So if rain comes and yes, okay, there's going to be a delay. When you come in, when the wicket dries, that's what you're playing on now. The pitch wasn't covered.
But it's all right, John.
Pitch wasn't covered.
And when I play so much, we play antique cricket, and the umpires here, you do so much, yes, and have it, John. The 12 no pitch not covered, the pitch wet, no. But guess what? They cap. We can start yet. What do you think, the captain? Because they can't start, they can't afraid the bad report. The bad report come down, they can't make the West Indies umpire business on the job. So I'm saying to you, John, when they introduce covers, it was good for cricket. I'm telling you that, the covers, but some days some of the covers leak to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Sir John,
You have
the
a spot
covers,
right in front of the batsman.
the covers are good. But Pat is right. Pitch was covered in time, John. So you get the end of the bat stick.
Good afternoon, Calvin White. Good to have you in the house. Warrell Richardson is saying, Pat Martin was one of my favorite cricketer, fine batsman. Calvin again, my thoughts are, if you can't play wind ball, you can never become a good cricketer. All right. Tell Taddy that, Calvin. Tell me that.
Calvin is one pretend he's a good batsman and bowler. Like, Carl White, man, forget the nonsense, man.
Okay, Pat, let's deal with you now specifically in terms of your cricketing experience. Just tell us a little bit of your, because one of the things Taddy told me was you were one of the younger ones to make the Antigua team with the aspiration of probably making a breakthrough in representing the West Indies. At least you were in that zone or that limelight. So just tell us a little bit about you now.
Not that zone line, that perspective of view
yeah.
from Antiguan.
From an Antiguan perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lord bless my mother, she's not alive today. She had two brothers who played for Antigua. I played for Antigua, and she didn't mind me playing cricket, but she knew I wasn't going to go any further than Antigua Leeward Islands.
Oh, she knows that.
Because they're not picking up body from no Leeward Islands. Listen, Andy and Vivi made a real difference to our cricket now.
I agree.
Women and so would stay home and hear the radio and, oh yeah, he can bat and he can bat. They're not going up there. After Andy and Vivi come into Weston, and Weston started to look at them up there, started to full up with Antiguans, man and woman and women and so on. But they didn't bother with us. They didn't bother with us. Oh, we had a man down here named Montanason who bowled fast, go down to Guyana and wherever else, perform. You're performing too well, so we take you out the attack. We don't want to get more than 2-3 wickets. So we don't want you in the statistics. You understand what I'm saying?
That's so like, you don't change that.
Yeah. So that was the trend. Like I say, in those days, you had to play cricket or football or you learn to swim. But some parents were scared that they didn't want their son, nobody come on and say that their son drowned.
Right.
So a lot of us didn't learn to swim at that time. So we played cricket and football. And I would play cricket 24/7. 6 days a week. Sunday was out of it. When you come out your house on a Sunday, it's to go to church. When I was growing up.
That's what it used to be.
Yeah.
Sunday was very holy.
Everybody in Antigua knew when it was Sunday. You didn't see any. When you go to Sunday school, you finish Sunday school, you go for a little walk up at East Street and you finish with it and go back home. Went to grammar school. I'm missing some places. St. John's Boys School. I played cricket at St. John's Boys School. And went to grammar school, Ovals Pasture, Deanery, Antigua Grammar School Top Field. From there, I moved forward. Got selected for Antigua in 1962. In a 14 or 17, we went to St. Kitts. In those days, tournament was different. There were 4 teams, the Montserrat, St. Kitts, and Nevis, Antigua. Right? Now, if you got in and you played the first game...
So at that point, St. Kitts and Nevis played together as one at that time?
No, separate.
St. Kitts, Nevis,
Montserrat,
and Antigua. Oh, sorry, go ahead, yeah.
Right? And that's how the tournament did go. If you played the first game and you lost. You're packing up. You'd play the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you lose, you're flying out on Thursday.
Oh, so it's like what we call one gunk.
One gunk. If you won the first game, you're lucky.
You play the final.
You're playing the final. So you'd stay in the host country 10 days if you flew in on the first day.
Right.
If you flew in on the first day. So one gunk, you're gone. Right? Wow. Fortunately, Antigua usually would stay on wherever.
Okay.
I remember anyway, in 1964, we had to get out of Montserrat like the Thursday. We flew in the Sunday night, and I've never seen rain like this. The drops were like big like my fists, rain drops. And we sitting out in the vehicle waiting for the rain to stop. Because we're Antigua, and this rain not stopping. So play started late on the Monday morning, and the game finished on the Wednesday. And Thursday afternoon in Antigua, Montserrat we played. Right? So that's how Leeward Islands was. In 1964, 63 there was no tournament.
Okay.
Nevis couldn't get their grounds ready and so on for the tournament. And 65 was played in Antigua. Now I played in a side in 64 with people with lots of talented guys. Hilson Phillip, Byam, Earl Michael, Cecil Martin, Derek Michael, Clem Francis. Clem had already been playing for Leavers and so on. And I had gotten 6 for 22 on a weekend day, and I said to somebody,
Wait. I read here you are a very fine batsman.
Don't worry.
You got 6 to 22.
Yeah. I was just ball it on there.
I tell him I want to give ball yards,
Yeah, so I got 6 for 22 in 20 overs in Montserrat, 1964. But what bothered me is that when you look at the lineup, the batting lineup, we had 700 runs made. I mean, just on the talent, eh?
Right.
Wait, Pat. I have a question.
Yeah.
How many of those guys have scored century in Antigua cricket?
Byam did, playing for Rising Sun. Hilson, playing for the Antigua Sugar Factory. Derek would get runs. Derek and Keith got runs in cup match cricket here regularly now. I see Keith Michael hooking Winston Stones all over King George pasture and up a recreation ground. Tournament starts, and this man, I love him to my heart, named Noel Crump. And Senkis comes in the night.
Pretty well.
Yeah, and they come to recreation ground. And in those days, you come and look around and so on. And there's Austin Eddy. He was a character. Eddie would start the game with a black sash. But especially when he's playing Antigua, because that's when I'd look. And then when they're going to beat us off, you have a red sash, right? So, had a red sash.
Smell blood.
Yeah. So Keith Michael had some fun. I mean, you never saw people hooking Winston Stones all over the grounds and so on. And Noel Crump says to Eddie, Keith is in great form. You're going to kill you with bat today. And he say, those Michael boys, they're nervous. I always hear that they can play and bat and so on. Every time they come to a tournament, they don't make any runs. They're nervous. And when Eddie came on to bowl here in a game in the same year in Antigua, and he turned to Noel Crump, and he showed Noel Crump, look here, I'm going to bowl to your Keith Michael now, who you're saying for him. And he bowled Keith about 4 full toss. And Keith played them down. And he said, he turned to Noel Crump and said, see, I tell you, they're nervous. I bowled him 4 full toss, and he played them straight back down the pitch to me. Say, how are you going to tell me they have form and they can bat? Yeah, for real.
But tell us about the 6 to 22 now. So
No, I just got lucky.
yeah, no, but then
No, Clem was on the side. Clem should have been the lead spinner. Clem was the lead spinner, Clem Francis.
But you tell about the guys who had the centurions in the lineup.
Yeah.
So you thought you knock out the ones easy.
Yeah, easy. In shooting fact, we bowled out Senkis for 113. 6 for 22 in 20 overs. Smarty, which is Cecil Martin, my brother, and Earl Michael, we started off. They got to 28 for no loss, and the ball was over 82. This is the side that's supposed to be about 700 runs. When you look at this batting lineup, I tell you, tremendous. So you have Hilson Phillip, Byam, Earl Michael, Cecil Martin, and coming on the line, Pat Evans.
And you did too.
Yeah, well, and it's 7 night batting in that side, isn't it? 7. Right?
Well, you're not around there, you get 6 to
No,
22.
Clem is the all-rounder.
So you get 6 to 22.
Then you give Clem no ball in. Then you give Clem no ball in. Every now and then he tries in my face. He tells me, oh, your grammar school friend, and then they make me bowl.
I'm getting grammar school boys out in the summer now.
Yeah. So we came home. Came home the Thursday. We went on the Sunday night. We come home the Thursday. We lose. 65, I decided. I don't like to lose. I'm not that kind of player. I don't mind if I lose and being competitive. Yes, means you outplayed me.
Right.
65, we didn't play any first class cricket in Antigua. Drought again. Antigua full of drought, right? Drought.
Okay.
So they played trials throughout that year, from February down to the tournament in June, July. And they would pump water from Country Pond, and the games were played up at Rising Sun pitch.
Okay.
So they pump it across the pasture to Rising Sun. And a few of the trials were played up at Factory.
Okay.
And I practiced quite a bit, had good form and so on. Had such good form that when the tournament came, I could hear everybody saying, well, you're not going to make no runs, right? And he's not going to make no runs because he's had such good form. He doesn't make all the runs already. So he's not making runs.
He's not going to the bat already. He's not going to the bat.
Yeah. And fortunately, I came out with an average of about 50 something or something like that. And he got bowled of 440 something in the first game against Nevis. Derek Michael got Whitechapel.
The man can business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He got Whitechapel. I got 46 that game. The second innings, I got 34. And the St. Kitts game, Derek Michael got 123, and Hilson got 60 something in that game.
Okay.
That's the first game against Nevis. So Nevis had to go home. Then we played St. Kitts in the final. And don't remember the scores exactly. But I made 7 in the first innings trying to lockdown shop. I gave Yada Kelsey a bowl on card catch. And then my friend from Canada called me, the great Sir Tim Hector. We were very, very close. I mean, he supported me all the way through. And we went to Government House on the night. There's a social occasion. The Rhode Islands cricket was a social occasion. When you got to play for
administrator.
And there's an administrator in this country who loved cricket named Turbot.
Guess what, Pat? I met him in Australia.
You met him?
2005.
You met him, Freddy?
2005 in Australia. My wife was there, and he had auntie was there. He came to visit us and took to meet us.
Yeah, okay.
I still look fit and trim and look good.
Yeah, he was from New Zealand, right? But Turbot would be driven around this country to the various villages and play the villages, play cricket in the villages. And the good players, he'd come back to St. John's and recommend them. There's a guy named Selden Joseph from Freetown.
That's Daniel.
Daniel is Daniel.
Daniel.
From Freetown. He lived in Nevis Street. Came and played for St. John's. Turbot saw him in Freetown.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So Turbot
I was supposed to interrupt you quickly before let's not forget. Because Brandlove tell me about that. So Freetown had 3 guys from St. John's. Selden, himself, and Butter's father, guy man Lake.
Yeah.
Lake, Alfonso Lake, spinner, Brandon leg spinner, and Selden, the number 3 batsman.
Yeah.
So you know how we proud Freetown connection.
Yeah.
So Pat is right with the Selden, that was the batsman.
Yeah, Selden. He's about 3. You come from country and batting 3 for St. John's in the 60s, you ought to be a good player. He was an excellent cutter, but he played for St. John's.
Played with the society man.
I don't know about
the young Mark society man.
No. When we played for St. John's was in society. Before me and Mark, it might have been society. That was Mark and I were playing.
Mark, you concur?
Yeah, and so I had a good season. My friend Tim Hector, I got 65 not out against St. Kitts in 1965. And Tim Hector called me right away and said, well, I guess this is the Leeward Island selection. I said, I don't know. I got Leeward Island selection, 65, but I was traveling. My mother said, you're wasting time to be playing cricket. Yes, your uncles play and so on, but they don't go nowhere. They're not playing. West Indies not looking at nobody from the small island and so on.
So the hope was that the hope was that limited. There was just no.
Listen, if you played for Antigua, maybe you got to play for Leeward. You arrived now. You would have arrived. And people don't really understand the importance of Andy Roberts and Vivian Richards to our cricket. I mean, when you get Leeward Island selection now, you got selected for cricket because they're not looking at you. I saw MCC here in 1960. Oscar Williams got 89, Sheepy got 49, Harris got 60 something, Derek Michael got 60 something, and a little spoiled boy. I get into the pavilion and I'm talking to Alan Moss, and he wants to know, well, when they know what they're doing to it. So when West Indies picking a team, see nobody from the small islands. I know why he asked me. I said, no, they don't see nobody from down here. I thought Oscar Williams could bat more than Easton McMorris. I really thought so. Right? That's it. First 3 deliveries from Keith Miller here in 1955. Long leg, Bonji, 3 fours in succession. When the magic started, Keith Miller did what he had to do. Leg cutter, waist swinger, bowled on Oscar Williams. But it's the first time we've seen bowling like that around here. Right? We see fast bowling, but guys wobbling about this ball and so on. They didn't see much of that. And I don't think we understand it totally and fully what the contribution made by Andy and Vivi. You know, and they just didn't get picked for West Indies. They contributed. They are high performers.
Yeah.
And that was important for us.
They were the dominant force.
Right. And a lot of the other players, West Antiguan players, New Island players who came through, is because of Andy and Vivi.
Well, one of the things I always remember Taddy saying here when he had his university was his whole concept was he was looking for the next Andy Roberts. He was looking for that sort of protege to put on the map there. Gentlemen, we're going to take our final break, and then when we get back, Pat, you're going to tell us of who are some of the bowlers that you'd be scared in your boots to face. So think about those bowlers coming down at you. Back shortly, and you're going to elaborate a little bit on some of your personal confrontation in that middle of the pitch there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we again want to say thanks to the ACB Caribbean Group, Simple Smarter Banking, and as my co-host said, Taddy Arundel, no question asked, the premier bank in the Eastern Caribbean, ACB Caribbean, Simple Smarter Banking. For all of your banking and financial needs, we do recommend them to you with the highest order. Zen Body and Skincare, enhancing your natural beauty, distributor of Black Girl sunscreen, made by women of color for people of color, a sunscreen for everyday use. Zen Body and Skincare. They are located at Ways Estate, just east of Pickett's, north of the Social Security Housing Project, and you can reach them at 779-4846. That's 779-4846. Blue Mountain Water, the #1 drinking water on the island, and you could get that from mega distributors on the American Road. Be sure to check them out there. They have them in an assortment of sizes there, the most thirst-quenching water on the island. Pine Hill Juice. For all of your juice requirement, be sure to check them out at Hutchison Wholesale. They're the providers for Pine Hill Juice. Again, in an assortment of flavors, you could have it right there at Hutchison Wholesale on the Sir Sidney Wallen Highway. And Plumbing Electrical Limited. For all of your plumbing and electrical needs, be sure to check them out. So if you're doing any building, retrofitting, be sure to check Ahmad and his team there at Plumbing Electrical Limited. They also do wholesale, so if you have a little retail and you want to have some small items just to make your stock look a bit enticing and with good pricing, be sure to check Plumbing Electrical Limited. That's located just as you exit Potters. You're going what direction is that? South. You're going south just before you get to the Antigua Transport Board. You'll see that little turn off there. I think it's a yellow building if I'm not mistaken. Be sure to check them out. You'll see quite a lot of big black plastic tanks out there. You just go in there and let them know you heard this on the Talking Parish League show. All right, I think we've covered everyone here.
John, before I don't want to end the show without touching my controversial issues, man. When I get finished like that.
No, we're not finishing yet now.
So I want to take Pat to somewhere quickly.
Okay. Take me.
1 second. I did. Yeah, Pat, you're ready to go. Pat, you're ready to go.
Teddy's always challenging me.
Yeah, I'm challenging you. My apologies. I should have told you. You could reach us at 268-776-2866. That's our direct line here. So you call us on WhatsApp if you want to just contribute anything to the show. 268-776-2866. And today we are, the last 2 weeks we were in the country, so we come in we hear how the tongue people and them advantage country people in this country. And we bring a tongue man to try and defend the policies.
Man from tongue, not a tongue man.
Fight man.
Bishop Gate Street man. Right. So Pat Martin, and he has just been sharing, his experience growing up in the Bishopgate Street area, Bishopgate Overs, and Tennis Pasture. I learned something today. I never heard of this Tennis Pasture, and so I did learn Tennis Pasture there. Bad News is on. He says, I love that Pat keep highlighting the contribution that was made by Sir Andy and Sir Viv. Thanks again for the rich history lesson. And Warrell Richardson, okay, he was just repeating your 20 overs. 10 maidens. Well, he's given the exact bowling stat. 20 overs, 10 maidens, 6 for 22.
Wait, well, you got the stats?
Well, that Warren.
Monset has it, still has it.
Yeah. Bring it there.
Montserrat still has it.
Wow, we'll bring it right there.
Well, you get the story too.
Yeah. All right, so yes, Taddy, you want to get...
I don't want to leave your Pat, and we don't touch a little controversial stuff.
Sure.
Go ahead,
Tell
tell
me,
me.
Pat spoke yesterday briefly about the days of when you play for Antigua and so. And those days, you have to be well, what they call etiquette.
Yeah, listen.
Tell the guys about it, Pat.
Listen, playing for Antigua wasn't just about your performance, no. You just didn't have to bat and bowl and field. You had to be all kind of other things. I mean, to qualify for Antigua, to play for Antigua, you had to know how to use knife and fork and so on.
So Antigua was a society team.
No, St. Kitts needs all them little places on the same thing. Because you can meet Governor General and administrator and stuff like that, eh? It was a social occasion. It's like you were arriving into Antigua society. It was supposed to be a stepping stone. But then sometimes you get picked for Antigua and you go play when you come again on a job. You know? But it was like that. It was like that. I went to work at the Antigua Sugar Factory and I left school. And I thought grammar school was a big thing. In fact, you have a cricket team. In grammar school, in those days, would give you an extra, ask you to play for the school for an extra year if you're a good player. And so grammar school offered me the extra year, and I said, okay, no problem. And I went to, I'm working at Antigua Sugar Factory, and I tell Kanan and Brown, they're the accountants for the Antigua Sugar Factory, that I'm going to play for grammar school. And they look at my face and laugh. They say, yeah, okay, I can't tell you who to play for. If you get one, you're going to have to take out, we're going to take out your time, right? That's one. And two, if you get injured, who's going to take care of you? So I said, well, what's this? Well, here's the time. I'm turning 18, eh? So now I'm getting to understand real life. So I tell grammar school, look, thanks, and thanks for no thanks. I have to play with Antigua Sugar Factory.
So now those boys subtly just directed you where you needed to go.
Yes, I mean, that's what Antigua was about.
Tell them, man, you play with Freeland and Tickle and so, Joe.
You know, well, I thought I didn't mind. I played the St. Kitts in '62 with Sones, Freeland, Jerome Tittle was a...
When you say Freeland, that's Adolphus Freeland, okay.
But I was in school, eh?
Yeah.
Right. And Freeland and Sones would open the bowl. Bunny Butler was on the side. Butler had opened the bowling for Trinidad against Australia.
West Indies,
1955.
Okay.
Yeah. When it was overcast, he was a magician. I mean, the ball would wobble all over the place and so on, right? But I played Freeland, Derek Michael, Clem, but...
Wait out of Joe Tickle.
He had a weakness that if you didn't know, he's going to get 100 against you, right? He is suspect to a short rising ball. And he used to do some funny things, eh? They'd have to pick you to play trials because you performed in the first class. I've seen them, Joe would bat 3 or 4 for Antigua, 4 for Factory, 4 or 5. And Antigua take the ball and send him to open. And who running up to him? Freeland. And Freeland know he's suspect. Boom. 1 ball. Forward short leg, gone through. And I'm padding up, trying to get ready. And I have to rush. But he was a good sports person overall. Excellent soccer player and a good cricketer. And I tell you, I mean, they did this also to a boy Clark from English Harbour.
Dick Clark?
No, Dick Clark. Yeah, he's a batsman. Right, he's playing for Empire, batting at 4. And I've never seen the man fail, Taddy.
I remember Wally Clark.
Wally, right.
Wally Clark, that's it, Wally Clark.
He had a good friend, his good friends were Donowa and a fellow West.
Albert Donowa.
Right.
Yeah, they brought me too.
Right, he died now.
Yeah.
And they take the boy and send the boy to go open here in Antigua. It's the first time I ever see the boy fail, and I've been looking at the man for 2, 3, 4 years and never see the man fail. Daddy, never see the man fail. Antigua send him to go open. Maybe they're trying to get him out the team or something like that, because they did have those things, eh? They'd set you up in such a way that, I mean, if you perform,
So it's a long time to set up country people.
Listen, no, there's a countryman name I haven't mentioned, a man named Otto from Wilkes.
Wing. And you know, we had your own team. Yeah, so many sons, they had your own team and so.
I don't know how many sons here, but this country,
well.
when after Antigua had picked their 14 or whatever, Ring would pick up the best 12 or so from the country all over Antigua and challenge the Antigua team. There's a boy named Les Roy from Bowlands. He lives in New York. And a few other guys named Sergeant and so on. Doug Ring picked them up and bring them. So Antigua don't want that, yeah?
I remember Sergeant.
Yeah, but the point is too,
What about Mullin, the Mounty Mullin?
Mullin was a good player. Good player.
He came on the show now, you have the most
No, he was a good player.
Pat, hold a second.
Yeah.
Mullin, from what Mullin presented here, Mullin was a great player.
Oh, okay, maybe. But I know Bowlands had some good players, and again, there's no playing field in Jennings. What you see there, Jennings going up into the Christian Valley where the schools, that wasn't there. Kane was there.
Yeah.
So no cricket field was around Jennings. Cricket field was at Bowlands. So Bowlands had quite a lot of good players, decent players. Pranup and some other, I can't remember, something Baptist, the boy Jacobs who came to town. His brothers, he had a brother named Cardova. They love cricket. They love cricket. Ethelbert Smith. Right? So cricket would go as far as Johnson Point, and Johnson Point didn't have any playing field either. And then you'd leave there and you go up to Old Road. So you had all these voids, Teddy. Pierce Village had a cricket field and they played cricket. Teddy Shepherd, good player, wasn't used properly in Antigua cricket, so he finished early.
He played with you, right?
Yeah, 64.
Yeah.
We all went to Montserrat in 1964. Sounds long, isn't it? Yeah, 1964, Teddy came to Montserrat. And Teddy and I would have been about the same age. He used to go to Mr. Hill's school.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the other boy used to open the bowling with him, who was very good. They called him Tyson. I don't remember his full name.
Tyson.
Right.
He's from Pearsall.
Yeah.
He did play quite for years.
Right, yeah. I mean, cricket was played in this country, but we didn't have enough areas for people to play cricket. So they played some cricket in... Oh, Saints had some... Oh, I saw a cricket match. I played in this game in Liberta, 1965. You'd never see anything like this. Antigua side, or the proposed Antigua side. Earl Michael and his brother, I think, would be opening, Granville Michael. And this round arm bowler, first ball of the new ball, and he bowled on Earl Michael. Now, Earl Michael is a Leeward Islands player. One ball.
Big fish.
Right. And the second ball of the day, he bowled on Derek Michael. So you can imagine the village of Liberta, how he's jumping and pumping, and I have to go down there to save the hat trick. Fortunately I did, and I felt good about that. But could you imagine Liberta village, Earl Michael one ball, Derek Michael one ball, two successive balls, and the boy, I can't remember his name. I've been trying. It's not Mohammed and so on. I've been trying to find out. But I'm trying to find out the name of this guy, and I can't recall it at all. But you can imagine that, Daddy. You're bowling on Earl Michael, the Leeward Islands play, and the next ball you're bowling on Derek Michael. Right, and it's not a caught and a slip on the LBW decision. No.
You disturbed the woodwork.
Yeah.
The picture was good.
It was good. It was good.
Well, I'll make sure. I'll put excuse to the guy.
No, the guy was surprised. We played also in All Saints. There's a boy they used to call Steers.
Charlie Steers, remember he?
Yeah. No, he used to... He had a suspect action.
The Seashell.
He said that. Yeah. And he used to give us some trouble when we went to All Saints. And something I don't know how the country town thing going. So we decided, hey, Teddy, we can't come here every week and me and Hilson and Derry get him blow. So something have to happen. Teddy rushed up and he hit Steers at his temple, fell down, started to froth at the mouth and so on. You know, they bring water and throw on him. So that's what we used to do. Anytime people follow like Antigua those days, they throw water on them. And the village came out with a cutlass and so on.
The cutlass and so on?
Yeah. Yeah. You know who it was? Teddy Shepherd. No. Teddy Shepherd people come from Artsays, between Artsays and Pierce Village and Freeman's Village. So when they come now and they recognize it's Teddy who bowl a knock downstairs, they just drop their tools. Drop their tools, I'm telling you. Yeah, but cricket used to be nice those days. Sugar was still king. The game and recreation ground, the men who going to work at the Antigua Sugar Factory, you see them riding their bicycle up Factory Road, and they'd stop at the recreation ground for a while and watch cricket, and they'd go up to the Antigua Sugar Factory and work. And those who are getting off the 6 to 2 shift, they would, on their way down, stop at the recreation ground. And Leeward Islands tournament was something else, because the whole of the south side, ringside, was jam-packed, filled. The last time I see it looking like that, I think, it was when Vivi was playing against Pakistan here, I think in 1977.
77. I played that match.
Right. And he got stumped to Mustak. Right? He chipped and sweep and he's out his gun. But you know what happened? Everybody, you'd see somebody tell them to leave. Everybody on the south side, you don't remember that time? Get up. Did you make 50 something and walk out the gun? This is at 5 o'clock, or 5:30. This is 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Vivi gets stumped. Everybody come to see the master. And when he gets stumped to Mustak, everybody, it's like somebody tell them, well, it's time to go. They just get up and walk out.
The show is over. The show is over.
I want to ask you a question, okay? The fact that there are the bike people, famous bikers. But the most famous biker was who?
Bikers would have been in my
famous.
time.
No matter man they ride bicycle factory to work. Who the most famous one?
Factory?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember the name.
But the famous one was, Perry Gray Rose.
Who? Ashley Perry Gray
Rose.
He didn't ride the bicycle.
Ashley Perry Gray Rose.
Ashley Perry Gray Rose did everything.
Ashley Perry Gray Rose used to hang with the same place we hang with Willie Shoemaker shop.
I never saw him there.
Ashley Perry Gray Rose story there that I thought you knew.
No, that one I don't know.
He leave the factory. When his son says we started to win,
yeah.
And he decided the rain can't catch him. Yeah. So he started, John don't laugh. And he decided he started pedal hard. And the bikes, the way send the back of the bike wheel until he reached 5 weeks.
Yeah, I'm on to that one.
Okay. So actually probably was famous bike. John just kept the bike the way in the back wheel until he got to him. The way couldn't pass him.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we're running short of time as with everything.
I'll get him out of the 10 minutes, man. Set you 5 minutes. Let's go.
Pat, tell us who was your who got you shaking in those knees?
If there's anybody who shook me, it would have been Winston Soames. And like I said, very competitive, quick, attacking, hostile. You playing Winston Soames, you have to be playing him out to your chest all day. Right? Yeah, no drive there for you, no drive.
Can't go to the front foot and just caress him.
And remember, he died 1972, so I'm 17 at the time. So you can understand me facing Winston Soames at that time there. And one day I felt so good. He was bowling to Clyde Walcott. There was a guy on a sugar estate side that stopped by here in 62, which included Clyde Walcott, Joe Salmon, and guy in the opener was Colin Wilshire.
Okay.
And Soames was in their face all day. And I'm feeling a forward short leg. And he bowled to Clyde Walcott, his Roman Catholic church. Right? And he bowled a similar type delivery. And he get cut to point. No, I mean, this is classic batting, eh? This is classic batting. It's not that he was hooking him straight.
Right.
He hooked him and then he cut him. Same bowler, same bounce, same height. Everything looked the same. I don't know if it was. And I'm feeling a forward short leg and I'm in like tall. It's not often you see this. I don't see Winston Soames getting this kind of treatment. But he was a good attack. And that's the bowler I feared. If I feared any, I mean, the others are ordinary, they're fast, but they don't get up above your waist.
Yeah, that's ordinary.
Hey, John, but Pat can't be correct. The fast, the ordinary, the can't get above your waist.
Maybe they could get up above your waist.
If you're fast, it's not the fast.
But they
were talking about the truth.
Yeah, they weren't getting up above your waist.
Freedom was fast, brother John. They was more quick.
Freedom was quick.
Wait. That whole Mark ball bar down your waist.
No, Mark was good.
Really good. Ball over the throat.
Marcus to get up across your chest too.
Yeah?
You never saw that?
No, I didn't
When
see
you
that.
coming down at maybe 5 or 6 or so, Mark done tired and somebody's going. But look, in those days, no, there's an abundance of pacemen here because of Andy Roberts, honestly. You look at Ulysses Grant, Hercules Grant.
Hercules.
Right? There's a boy, De Castro or something like that.
Yeah,
from Cedar Grove. I mean, even when Ferris and so came in, fast bowling was big thing in this country. No, we don't look like Merrick.
Yeah, Anthony Merrick is, yeah.
And when Taddy, remember, afternoon, St. John's playing against his school side, and you're looking at, Gene Gould wasn't in the side, so you're looking at Mervyn, Veron, Camacho, myself, and Ferris cleaning up. These are national players I just mentioned here to you, right? Ferris cleaning up, them people there, man, jumping up, ringside and up by the little pavilion up by the bus station. Because Ferris, I tell you, that was an afternoon of note. I mean, I can't forget the afternoon.
So I ask you a question. Mark ever did that for you? Let people jump up?
I don't remember.
Pat, we were talking off here, Veron Edwards. How good was he?
I think Veron, Jerome Tittle was an excellent sportsman. I thought Veron, I still think Veron is an excellent sportsman. Tim and myself, Tim Hector, used to have serious debates. Tim liked him. Tim didn't think he had he didn't have heart and so on. I don't know if heart and that's but Veron could bat. Veron could bat. I don't know why he didn't go further. But in his period, there's a lot of competition now. You look back in the period when Italians are playing, you have your Gene Gould, Veron, and Vivian Richards who had just emerged. Enoch Lewis emerging, coming through. And a year after that, you're looking at Ralston Otto. And a year after that, you're looking at Richie Richardson. And look where they ended up. So, that's not no mean talent you're talking about now. These are people who could play, who could bat. I thought Veron was an excellent sport person. A lot of people don't want to agree.
Veron was an excellent sportsman, maybe. Don't know that.
And he played good soccer too now.
Very good.
Understand the game of soccer. So I don't think he's been given his full credit for the kind of sports person he was.
Contributed.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a good swimmer, he afraid for water. Afraid sea water. Who? Veron.
He was just trying to pull me out. Veron can swim, man. Veron and Case and them boys just swim and go across to Fort James when they're playing football. And then run back into town and go back to Grace Farm.
Pat, you spoke of the abundance of talent that would have emerged during your time, growing up. Who were some of the maybe 4 or 5 players who you felt, if the opportunity was there, that would have made the presence maybe even before a Sir Viv and a Sir Andy? Who were some of the maybe 5?
To be fair, I can't call anybody. I hear people talk about Eustace Matthew, which is Tuss. Tuss was an excellent off spinner, too slow, but he could bowl and bowl well. Lance Gibbs was a different type of bowler. Lance Gibbs was quicker. I don't mean fast.
Was it what Jeffers Warrington?
Yes. Warrington, yes. But then, 2 years and he finished, right? I mean, how long he stayed on Antigua? I mean, they picked me in front of Warrington to bowl off spin. Months at 1964. Right? You're going, I went to grammar school, so, right?
Mark, a grammar school connection, boy, right?
Right? But I don't think we got enough of a look in. That was my problem. We had good people, but nobody looked at us in any extensive way. I thought Derek Harris from St. Kitts, right? McMahon and so on. These are people who could bat. People talk about when he first played here, Canai got picked from here to represent West Indies in 1956 now. To go to England, 57 in West Indies.
Ron Canai we talking?
Ron Canai, well, which other Canai that come?
He got picked to go again?
They played a tournament here in 1956. Windward Islands were based here. Leeward Islands were here. Jamaica was here. And Leeward Islands. Roy Gilchrist too. Push off here. First delivery. Man couldn't believe what I see here. I mean, ball hit when they recognized him, the ball hit the side screen over there already now. No, Roy Gilchrist, he was quick. Just wasn't managed properly. He was mishandled. due
Okay.
to some Cambridge Blue, Oxford Blue captain he had telling him how to bowl to people who went to university with him. You don't believe that? You ever heard of Jerry Alexander?
Jamaican wicketkeeper person.
Yeah, and Captain West Indies side, and Warren and them say, oh, he's joking on me again, I'm playing under him now. Because Jerry Alexander, even though he's playing for West Indies, he's looking out for his Cambridge and Oxford Blue partner and them. Don't laugh, it's true, man. Yeah, man. So I saw Roy Gilchrist before he played Test match, the year before he played a Test match, and I saw Wes Hall. They all toured England. Ron Canai, and all those guys. I saw them here as a young boy. That time cricket was big. It was bigger in Antigua than it is now. I mean, all Antigua lived for them was cricket, you know.
But I want to ask one final question.
Right, Daddy.
My final question.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the best chess player that Antigua team?
That's hard.
That's not hard, that's easy.
No. You have to understand. One is a family member. One is my friend, and the other one is Vivian Richards.
Of the Hutton.
It's Hutton and Smarty I'm talking about. Hutton and Smarty. You should see, like, when tournament come now, we go by Eunice. You buy your terline and wool. That's the trousers. Your terline and wool. And men's, and Jews used to sell the Peter May shirt and so on. You go and buy your Peter May shirt. Was it Slash and Joe? Slash and Joe, one of them. And but Hutton and Smarty were well dressed. And I mean, when they finished playing, I didn't even know they played cricket because they didn't even have green on them. I remember Leo go passing off Smarty. He didn't go for a catch. He said I should have gone for the catch, so he tell me. But Leo go say, oh, sweet, we all them sweet man we have on this team here. I don't understand what's going on. Hutton, the only mark Hutton would have on him is the red mark because he right? But Hutton and Smarty, very well dressed.
Hutton are well dressed.
Yeah, Hutton
well
as well.
Smarty too.
Yeah,
Smarty.
always well dressed.
And the farm,
No.
South Africa 185.
I can imagine that.
That's the female 50 over. That's playing at the stadium, I think. And West Indies in reply 124 for 6 off of 41.5 over.
You know the result, you say?
That's the last update I got.
Defeat, John.
It might be finished, but
In those days, you have to be well dressed, John. Carry yourself good. And like you said, then buy the best cloth, you know.
Yeah.
Tell you know, expensive business, that, John.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, as the gentleman said, cricket was a...
No, you're right.
You've arrived. If you're going to be the administrator would have been, you know, like what we call the government general now.
When my first visit to government house is a big thing, John. I couldn't wait to get in, John. What, John? This is a big stuff,
They
man.
invite you in your sneakers, right? No.
John, yesterday I was passing the city west gate, the government house open.
Yeah.
I said, that's the first I see the gate open for over 40 years, maybe
Okay,
30 something
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Because what happened, John? The maid squad is down there.
Okay.
But the government don't live there anymore. They are all private residents. But when the government live in the government house, boy, John, you can't wait to get in there, man. It's a special occasion that for you, John. See this thing?
Well, gentlemen and ladies who we have here coming in, Calvin White is saying they used to compare Vernon to Sir Viv back in the day. And Lydia Harris, good to have you, Lydia, from, I think you said St. Thomas. I hope I have it right. Good program, guys. But listen again. Good evening to all. Okay, good to have you, Lydia, and we're going to wrap up here also. Well, Pat, as with every good thing, it must come to an end.
Yeah.
And I know there's quite a wealth of knowledge that we still haven't tapped into.
No.
And so
We invite him back, John. No worries.
there's another invitation waiting here for you.
We had to wait another year.
Well, the beauty now, when we get you here once, we really mean easier the second time. Don't worry.
I was telling a friend of mine, Taddy, pull a coup. Because I usually I don't do this.
I hope that old friend is watching too now. Sylvester.
Yeah, and we have I understand we have a few guys out of England who are on queue watching us too. So we just want to say thanks to all who were. But before we go, Pat, we normally give you an opportunity to give your closing remark. Anybody you want to pick up or just anything you want to?
Not really. It would take me all day for that. I mean, friends in Toronto, friends in New York, friends in Antigua, all over. Wish them all the best. You know, it's just like, hey, if I start calling names, I know I'm gonna miss.
That's an enemy.
No, I know. We can't be enemies.
Okay.
You know, we've been friends for so long that we cannot become enemies, you know. But there are a lot of people who I know played a role, important role in my development, cricket-wise and so on and so. They're still my friends, and I thank them all. But you know, what it is what it is. Carl Luke.
Yeah.
Carl Luke lives in Virginia. You know, a lot of people. So.
Carl Luke was a good batsman in young days, grammar school days, you know.
Yeah.
If you're one of the famous guys, the talented guys, just think highly of him.
Okay.
I remember that. It's a Patter's guy like you.
Yeah. You know where they live? You see where the hurricane shutter place is there, across from OB's? East of there was some Simpson people. And east of there, there's a kind of garage driveway there, the house right there. That's where they live.
Yeah, you're Patter's guy, too. Good batsman. Grammar school days, man. I remember that guy, Carl Luke. For John, for your turf. Patter's guy. But Patter's has some good cricketers too, you know. Patter's has a good guy.
Winter, who died in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
He bowled quite very fast.
Then the guys from Patter's are pretty good. Even the same Maraj is a good wicketkeeper, factory man too.
Yeah.
So John Patter's has some good talent coming to Patter's. Patter's was not in the village in those old time days. But I was telling you, John, I was so happy to get my good friend Patty, but what happens, you know? What he did, he started sending out to all my WhatsApp to all and guys, and Pat will be on the show today. So your friends watching the Canada in the yard. I can swim up on the Michael, come on, watch it.
Yeah.
You know, all the guys watching, all them St. John's, some guys like Mark, you know what I mean? So I said, Pat will be on the show today. Even Senator Barr, Jack Humphreys in Orlando. So all the guys will watch this. We'll be telling the lies though. They're going to watch people tell Pat lies.
We'll challenge each other.
I make sure. I tell you what now. Murphy came on the show and he said something. By the time we get to him, come on, and call me and say, Murphy, lie, man. Tell some lie for me. Say he went for some bones or something. So I'm saying to you, when you come on the show, then guys remember everything, you know. So they well, got to start 6, 10, 20 overs, 10 maidens and all that.
That part, the maidens, I don't remember.
James came to the show, though. He walked his school book, you know.
Yeah.
He scored century 1977 against Hatton. You know what Hatton, you know, John?
Yeah.
So it's 20th century for Parish League. So people have the stats, you know, so you can't tell a lie when you come here. No. What did you?
I say I did not recall.
All right. But I will tell you that it took me some time to get him on the show, John. But they want him to tell you the old time days, you know what I mean? He played in the days when cricket was real cricket. Okay. Not the cricket like real cricket, no. But those days, it was so difficult to get to the big team, the Antigua team. And except, you know, when you make Leave Lions team, you're like a test match that for you know. You're test player, no, John.
Because cricket was played at the height of the crop, sugar.
Right.
So, like I say, you hundreds of bicycles coming down Factory Road, and hundreds of bicycles going up, and they'd stop by in there. That was the crowd. I mean, the crowd came back, let's say when Vivian and Andy came back, and then after we saw enough test cricket around here, and so many ordinary jokey players after Andy and Vivian, which is gone back about their business. People don't go there.
John, see, people go, you know, but see, when West is winning, people don't care to go. That is true, you know what I mean? But if you have some, like Pat said earlier, you know, it doesn't matter who comes to play against Leeward Islands or Antigua. If you're an outstanding player, people want to see what the Antigua can do against him. And guess what? If a fast boy, man, say bounce him, so no.
We still on?
Yeah. You want to bounce him, so no. Because they want to see if you're really good now. Because, but, John, when you go to the bat, and they say good, and you have a really ask somebody come here, they want to test your skill against Lily. If you're doing good, nobody wants to see you again, John.
The barometer raised.
Yes.
But I want to say this, John. I went to New York City at the height of my cricketing ability. And I went down to Marine Park and dominated batting. And then Granville Michael and Oscar Williams were there and so. But this man named Vernon Fenty, he used to be a conductor on the subway. And he befriended me. And he thought I was the best thing. He came home. But every year he'd come home for Shell Shield. And this year he comes back and he said, Pat Martin, he used to live in Oyston, Christchurch, somewhere there in Barbados, after he left New York. He said, Pat Martin, boy, I used to be crazy about you. But I went to Antigua, and I saw this boy named Vivian Richards. And I mean, I couldn't stop him. He just continued telling me what a great player he was. And so, I mean, Fenty was my biggest fan. I mean, when you go to Marine Park, and Marine Park nearly big like Antigua. So, cricket, 4 or 5 matches played on the ground, and there's no overlapping. And everybody comes to see. Belgian man asked me time, where you from? Antigua. Where you went to school? Antigua. You never live in Barbados? No. So, all your cricket is played in Antigua? Yes. Couldn't believe that Antigua. And Oscar Williams used to insist, Pat, we don't come here for no joke now. We don't come here for no joke now. When we come here to play serious cricket, so they know we play cricket in Antigua. Because you know, some of them just say, if you plant potato or pumpkin in Antigua, divine one into the sea. You never hear that?
This is how they can talk, John. Yeah.
You never hear that?
Yes, John. This is how they can talk.
They didn't think that you could have played. Antigua wasn't big enough for cricket to be played in.
Well, Pat, you're definitely going to have to return here because there's quite a lot we have to unearth. Time is really on us. We're now hitting the 5 o'clock hour.
True.
And
Okay.
I know we have to get off the road. So, Taddy, just close off quickly.
Yes, John, what happens Monday, we were having Charles Bellett on the show. Bellett's
Table tennis.
Yeah, table tennis. And Bellett's related to the same man, Tennyson.
Right, okay.
So that's what we have on Monday. We're hoping to have this guy Jerry Martin, a boxer and whatever show sometime soon too. Jerry the Bull Martin.
Okay.
But in closing, when I say it's good to have my old friend here, Pat. You know, we still hang out a lot, but we should make a shop around the place. And that guy, the spinboard egg, Richards, was the famous journalist with ABS, leading journalist at one time for years.
Okay.
I know him pretty well. He used to live close to the Milton Benjamin, the Mitzi Manning and father, and so he played cricket to Milton Benjamin, journalists too, two of them buddies, neighbors.
There was nothing else to do in Antigua.
So I tell you, it's good to have Pat here. You know, next week we hope we have another good show, things going well, and hope that Mark will get the show going started in time. And you know what I mean, John. So we look forward to next week. And well, Pat don't have no Facebook, he might have YouTube. So you better start to watch the show. I say, because somebody next week may come and say, Pat, tell a lie.
Well,
I never know.
really good. Quickly, just I was also on the TV. USA was playing against Oman today, and our own Kareem Agor, he got 44. But USA lost to Oman, and that's looked like a 50 over game there. But Kareem Agor playing for the US, he got 44. 3 4s, 1 6 there.
You knock 6, but you're doing good, but you didn't again knock 6.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we've come to the end of another production, and this again was another real enlightening, real historical, as Pat really took us back. Pushan, as he would call it. Yeah. I heard about it here. I heard about it here many times, so I realized it was really something big in those days, and he really spoke about the impact, the influence of Sir Viv and Sir Andy in really opening the doors for us as Antiguans, and maybe even of the smaller islands, to really get an opportunity to play at the highest level. And so we're really thankful for the insights that Pat would have given. And so on behalf of all of us here, Mark, Charles, Auden, Taddy, and Pat, we just want to wish everyone a safe weekend. Guys, let's try and follow the protocols. Let's be our brothers' keepers. Let's just say something nice to somebody, you know, good morning, good evening, whatever it is. Just be courteous and helpful as much as we can, and let us just try and ride out this storm, as they would put it. So stay safe, and we'll see you again on Monday. Mervyn will be here, and on next week Thursday we'll be back again with another exciting show.